All right. All right. Let me get situated. All right, here we go. Welcome everyone to Dead Talk Live. I'm your host Viz, and today we will be chatting with the cast and crew of the upcoming science fiction horror film Lumina. Lumina is exclusively coming to theaters Friday, July 12th. Now, to start us off, we are joined by Sidney Nicole Rogers and Ken Lawson, two of the stars of the film. Sidney, Ken, thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations on the film. How are you guys doing today?
Thank you so much. Incredible. Awesome.
Doing great. Doing great. Thank you.
How are you feeling with the premiere like 2 weeks away?
The Los Angeles premiere is this Friday.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I am extremely excited. I am ready to walk that red carpet. I finally got all my looks together. My mom's flying in. I know she's going to be just a big ball of tears. You know, she's been waiting so long for this moment. So we're all excited.
Yes, super.
Congratulations. I mean, this is so awesome. To get a theatrical release is just so big. So let's get right into the questions. I want to ask this to the both of you, but Lumina has a big storyline built into it. I want to hear from the both of you. What were your initial impressions when you first read the script? Let's start with Sydney. What did you think when you read all this story packed into one script?
I said, wow. I said, wow, Gino has written not just a sci-fi movie about aliens, but it's also a story about love as well. A love in a relationship between a boyfriend and a girlfriend, obviously, but a love between friends, because it takes a lot of love for friends to go into the unknown to try and attempt to save their other friend. I don't know too many people who would have friends who would do all of that for them. So
Exactly.
it shows heart behind the horror. It shows a lot of grit and romance and humor as well from Ken.
Now, Ken, your character is quirky, is all over the place. What did you think of the story and your character's place in that story?
As far as George is concerned, I really appreciated. It seemed like the character Alex had to run to somebody that was on that level of where he was introduced to, and that's where I think George just brought it to his attention, like, hey, I'm your guy. I've
Mhm.
been doing this for years, and I told you about it, and that's why you don't hang with me no more.
Now,
So, like the fact that he's able to come to this character. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say there's a moment in the film between both your guys' character that you feel a connection where, especially with Sydney's character, she's like, "Oh, wait, there's more to you than just this exterior facade." Ken, what did you think about the writing and the deep development of George himself?
I enjoyed it. Just the fact that you're able to look at this character and say, hey, he's not just some crazy guy. He lives in the real world, and I think that George's approach to it is more of like, hey, let me take the veil from over your eyes so you can see what's really going on out here. This stuff is real, and so I think that those moments to try to get people to understand, hey, these things happen, and it's happening to someone that we love. So
Yeah.
let's try to, finish this story and help him get to where he needs to get to, because it's happening not just to around the world, but it's happening to us.
Exactly, on a much personal level. Now, Sydney, Patricia, your character is really in a rough spot. You are the friend of three people, and you are sort of trapped in the middle of this sort of love triangle, and you're trying to appease everyone. I mean, wow, talk about a rough position to be in. How difficult was that for you to pull off as an actor and get that to just come alive on the screen?
Patricia is definitely the glue of the friendship circle, right? And I identify with myself with that, because I feel like in some of my friend groups, I am the glue. I am the therapist of the friend group. I am the person who brings everyone together. So for me, in those moments of all the chaos going on, to rope everyone and bring everyone back together in a peaceful manner, I just had to tap into me in those moments. So yeah,
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 now I saw Patricia as the movie progressed really taking on that leadership role
yeah.
within the group, just like you described. Uh, did you really lean into that as an actor?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I did. And Gino definitely guided me in that, in trying to discover Patricia's arc, being very carefree, free-spirited, and then, okay, this is serious now. This is not just a theory. Yeah, we're gonna go find Patricia. This is serious now. And with so many emotions just big, right? Someone has to be logical here. Um,
Hmm.
there's definitely moments where Patricia is emotional herself, but even in her emotion, she knows exactly what's at hand. She knows her duty. She knows, like, we have to survive this, so we need to get through it, through tears, through snot, through crying, through screaming. However, we need to get through it. We need to get through it now.
Exactly, exactly. Now, Ken, as George goes, as the story moves along, what I really loved about George is that instead of him spiraling into his conspiracy theory rabbit hole, he becomes a lot more pragmatic in analyzing the situation and realizes, hey, this is going on in real life. This is what we need to do to not only find our friend, but to survive. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, just definitely. I felt that George, the character, as he was able to bring some of his, resources into this film, into this scenario to help his friends say, hey, I've been doing this for so many years. I'm glad I'm able to provide any type of help and information, especially when we go by and we meet Eric Roberts in the film, bringing those two worlds together. It's like no one ever really thought that this would happen, but now they meet this guy and the story starts to progress and hey, we start to turn these people into believers. Like, hey, I told you guys, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Now, Cindy, when you guys are filming, I mean, there's always a difference when you sit down and see the final product with all the CGI effects added and whatnot. It's different being on set. You don't see all that. So when you sat down and you saw the finished product with all the special effects added and so on, what were your impressions?
I realized that while filming, the head of the CGI, he was there, the CGI department, and then the special effects, and then Gino. I realized while watching the movie that the three of them described extremely well what I was going to see on screen. Because
Okay.
a lot of things, when there's wine coming out of the wine glass, when there's, Tatiana going up into the sky, we don't know what that looks like. And I'm
Yes.
such a visual learner that I asked a lot of questions. I said, what am I touching right here? What does this look like? What does it feel like? What is it slimy? And they described it so well because Gino had such a clear, concise vision that he was able to articulate to everyone. I'm so thankful because when I saw it on screen, I said, oh, that's exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Awesome. That is so, I mean, as an actor, and letting our audience in on it, when you don't have something right there to work off of, it is extremely difficult. And Ken, it sounds like Gino was very spot on in explaining what it is that's going to be on that screen in the final product. When it comes to your interactions with him, what were your impressions on how he worked with you, explained things with you, and so on?
Yeah, Gino did a great job. He as an actor on going to certain scenes and sets we were doing, we were totally kept away from a lot of the sets. So everything was, kind of kept us in suspense all the way down till we got down to the bunkers. We didn't see anything I didn't know what the aliens looked like. I didn't know what the spaceship, I mean, as far as the space uniform, the gear, spacesuits, didn't know what any of these things looked like. Every
Mhm.
day we were getting introduced into something new. So when Gino was able to keep those things under wraps, he did a great job because I was asking a lot of questions. It's myself like, man, how are you gonna do this, man? You know, I want to see this. I said, man, can you just hold on? I got you. Because Gino, he like I said, he's a visionary, and you can
Yeah.
tell when it comes down to the CGI. You know, some of the things that, like you said, you can only see these things in the aftermath. When you're performing these things, you know what's going on. You know, they have us tied up to, you know, ropes and all of these different things that are going on, and he's like, man, I can't wait to see the finished product. You know,
Yeah, I
there are
agree.
certain scenes I don't want to give too much away, but there's just like certain scenes that are going on where I'm like, I cannot wait to see how he does this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went through a lot to make this happen. I can't wait to see what happens in the final product. So
You
I'm
must have
excited.
been very proud when you did see the final product. Now, Sydney, I want to end it with you. Okay. This, like I said, this story has so many elements. It has a romance, but I think at the core is the whole alien abduction theme. Okay. It is about aliens, it is about abductees and what happens to abductees, not only in the science fiction realm, but in real life. There are real people, millions of them, who claim to be abducted every year. And I was blown away by some of the statistics that Gino threw up on the screen just before the final credits roll. Do you feel the same? Do you feel like the core of this movie is about getting the stories of people who have been abducted by aliens out there and giving them a voice?
I definitely believe that that was Gino's breaking off point in
Hmm.
creating Lumina. Hearing all these stories, going and doing his own Alex deep dive into it all, right? And then boom, Lumina was made, it was
Hmm.
formed, and then bringing us into this world as well. Because before, I thought potentially there are aliens, but it wasn't until I was in this movie where I did my own deep dive and I said, whoa, this is
Yeah.
bigger than anything that I ever thought
Hmm.
possible. So, yes, bringing that awareness, bringing this film to everybody, then bringing us on as actors and even the crew as well into this world and bringing awareness to us on a personal level. So, absolutely, this film, it has heart, it has horror, but it also is informative.
And it definitely has some comedy as well, thanks to Ken.
Yeah, thank you, Ken.
You guys did a great job. Thank you, Sidney, Ken, for joining us today. You guys were great in the film. It's a fun roller coaster ride from start to finish. Please check it out. Thank you to our guests again, Sidney and Ken. Bye, guys.
So much, John.